has been put together. Some are calling it the weirdest, most interesting, most curious quarterback room.
Yeah,
you have Joe Flacco, 40 years old, Kenny Pickett, who's 26, trying to prove himself still, Deshaun Watson, look, you can't even get into that, Dillon Gabriel, 24, Shedeur Sanders, now 23 years old, looking at some rookies there. It's odd. I think we can all agree on that. So let's figure out exactly what is going to go down with the Browns quarterback room. Welcome back, Pete Prisco, Mike Renner here. Pete, I mean, the Browns, they threw a bunch of people in one room. They're going to try to find an answer. Apparently, it's Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel taking first-team reps, not Shedeur Sanders, not Joe Flacco. What do you make of the Browns quarterback room right now?
Well, I think when you draft two rookies, obviously you're trying to find the long-term answer because you know the two guys you signed are not. And the way I see this playing out is I think the two rookies will battle to be number two. I think the two veterans will battle to be number one. And one of those veterans might get peddled during training camp if somebody has a quarterback go down. You're not going to keep all four of them. You're probably not going to keep the two veterans. But if Shedeur Sanders goes to training camp and throughout the offseason and shows that he can throw the football around and Dillon Gabriel does the same, I think you keep both of them and one veteran, and then you take the other veteran and maybe you peddle him around the league if somebody wants him. If not, then you let him go. I think that's how it will play out. I think the veteran will be the starter and the rookie will be looking, that starter will be looking over his shoulder the entire time.
Yeah, I'm with Pete. I think week one, I would bet on one of the veterans. I would probably lean towards Joe Flacco, just given what we saw from the last time he was in the Cleveland Browns jersey, his comfort in Kevin Stefanski's offense. But don't be surprised if Dillon Gabriel takes more snaps than people think and could win the job week one, but may very well usurp Joe Flacco early on this season because he's the most experienced quarterback to come out of college ever. Like, that's not even hyperbole. He has 63 starts, more than anyone else, 2 more than Bo Nix had last year. The guy was a 6-year starter. He was a 4-year starter in high school, has the Hawaii passing record. So he's very well seasoned for a rookie coming into the NFL, rare for a third-round pick. Maybe his ceiling may not be that high, but I think he can adapt easily to the NFL, so he'd be my pick. If he's getting first-team reps early on, that's already an encouraging sign.
It'll be interesting over the course of the summer and into the season to see what happens there. Pete, you were on vacation. You were in the Bahamas. Were you there when the Brock Purdy deal went down? Like, were you having a cocktail?
Yes, I was. And kudos to Brock Purdy, by the way. I had one for him. He deserved it. He earned it. And when a guy does what he did, you're happy for him. So I'm astounded that he played to the level he did. And by the way, so are the 49ers because they waited till the last pick to pick him.
Okay, so that's true. Let me ask you this, though. Making $53 million per year, and of course, with that going down, everybody's now looking at everybody else's quarterback contracts. Dak Prescott, the highest paid quarterback right now when it comes to AAV in the NFL. A lot of disrespect now coming for him, given, you know, where he sits and some other quarterbacks that are still out there. He's coming off that hamstring injury. Kind of give us your prediction for Dak Prescott, where things stand right now in the Cowboys this season.
Well, he's got to stay healthy. I think when you look at their roster, what they've done the last couple of years, they've strengthened the offensive line, which has always been a calling card for them. I think they'll be much better up front. I think getting Pickens will help the wide receiver room. They'll get another weapon in there. That helps them. The running game, I'm a big Jayden Blue fan. I think he'll help the run game. And so you look at it, it's all on Dak Prescott. What's he have to do? He has to stay on the field. I mean, he's got to be healthy. If Dak Prescott's healthy, I think he can put up big numbers in this offense, and I think they're going to be much improved. You know, there's a lot of people out there questioning Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach and should he have got the job. Look, Brian Schottenheimer's been around football for a long, long time. We know his father was a great coach, but you hear a lot of good things about him as a teacher, as a coach, as a guy who can lead that team. So until he shows me otherwise, I have faith in Brian Schottenheimer, and I'm a believer in Dak Prescott. Not a star quarterback, but he's one of those guys that can take a team deep into the playoffs and even to the Super Bowl.
I am a little worried about the offensive line, though, still, Pete. I mean, it is still so young. 3 different guys there starting within their first 2 years in the NFL. No Zach Martin now after playing last year. You really got one guy that's reliable up front. And if there's anything we've known about Dak Prescott over the course of his career, he has really gone up and down with the state of that Cowboys offensive line. From that stupendous offensive line he had his rookie year to some ugly times when Tyron Smith had injuries. You know, that 6-sack game from Adrian Claiborne comes to mind. But I do think that if they can play, if that unit can turn it around, they finally have the firepower on the outside to get back to that near MVP form he was in 2023.
So let's talk about MVP. Dak Prescott's not mad about Brock Purdy's contract because he's making more money than him. Somebody who's not is a two-time MVP in Lamar Jackson, who, I'm going to read this quote. I don't know what it means, but you can kind of read into it. Once I show my love, they show me why they don't deserve it. Right then, as soon as I put my guard down, that's when they hurt me. He attached a picture of himself playing youth football. Look, Lamar Jackson is not making as much as Brock Purdy right now. Pete, I have so many questions when it comes to this. One is, should they readjust his contract? His last contract was back in 2023, so he is making more than the likes of some of those quarterbacks, including Brock Purdy. But also, is this just going to be the pattern now of quarterbacks in the NFL? Somebody gets paid, other teams are going to have to pay their guys higher.
It's no. Other quarterbacks get paid, and then the other quarterbacks bitch and moan about it. That's basically what it is. I mean, look, Lamar Jackson got a contract 2 years ago. Let him play this year, then they'll tear it up and give him another one. I mean, the impatience is unbelievable on these guys, and I think when you look at it from that standpoint, the next guy up always gets the next contract, and so Lamar Jackson will get the next one, and he'll move back up after a year. He'll move back up near the top. Somebody else will complain. He'll play well, and then he'll move ahead of him. That's just the nature of the beast, the nature of the position. Brock Purdy was paid because it was his time to be paid, and that's why I think the 49ers decided to do it.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is actually making a lot less than even Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen just re-upped his deal, and he's not even at the top of the market, even after winning MVP. Some of the guys who are at the top, like Mahomes, like Allen they're willing to take that less. But if you really want to maximize your dollars and you're Lamar Jackson, don't sign a 5-year deal in today's quarterback world. Sign a 2-3-year deal. That's how you keep re-upping, keep getting those swings at the bat at that new contract, because it is with every single new successive guy, the number's going to go up. So if you really want to bet on yourself, don't take those long-term deals.
That's why my contract's coming up with CBS, and I'm going to look to Chris's contract so I get paid more than him. Joe Burrow speaking out today about teammate Trey Hendrickson pushing for the defensive end to get paid. Last week, Hendrickson, showed up kind of looking like he was ready for a round of golf instead of getting ready for practice at Cincinnati's voluntary workout. Told reporters things had gotten, quote, personal regarding his contract. Hendrickson, a 4-time Pro Bowler last season, first-time All-Pro. Here's more from his quarterback.
You guys all know how I feel about Trey. He's a great player. I love Trey as a guy. He goes out and plays well every single Sunday. He's very productive. He's a guy that deserves to get paid and get paid what he wants and what the market is. So, like I said, we'll see what happens with that. But, I love Trey and hope he's with us.
That's what happens when you bleach your hair. Sometimes it comes out looking a little green.
Green?
You didn't think it looked a little green?
I thought it looked great.
I don't know, whatever. Here's the thing. Taking a look at the highest paid defensive ends by average annual value right now, Trey Hendrickson sitting 9th. Head coach Zach Taylor said he has spoken to him, but has no update on his contract situation. Over to the Eagles. You know what happens when you are a famous